Ask and you shall receive. Kayla Mendenhall sent a comment in saying, I think it was Peck who just said on ESPN today that she would still give Reese the lead. She also said she has a bias towards post players. Doesn't that kind of make what she said invalid? The two reasons she gave was because Reese has a better efficiency and net rating, I think it was. Can you do a video kind of explaining that? Sure. This is said video kind of explaining that. Angel Reese does have the edge on Caitlin Clark when it comes to some specific advanced stats. Now, advanced stats, you have to look at, what they mean and what they represent and what exactly they are in order to understand the context for that. But let's take a look at some advanced stats for a second here. We'll go to the WNBA page, and you can see I have this sorted by net rating right now, which is one of the stats that Carolyn Peck noted on the broadcast. Angel Reese is right here, 2.3. She's plus 2.3 in net rating. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is a lot further down the list. I haven't found her yet. I think she's right on this page. Let's scroll up. Where is Caitlin at? She's minus 8 something. Minus 8.1 right there. Caitlin Clark in net rating. So what is net rating? That is your offensive rating subtracted by your defensive rating, giving the net rating. And offensive and defensive ratings are points per 100 possessions and points allowed per 100 possessions. So basically, it's trying to break it down on a per possession basis and show how good your team is with you on the floor or off the floor on a per possession basis. Now, Clark's numbers in that category are going to be skewed a little bit because she's on the floor so much. She almost never is off the floor. And the Fever got blown out a lot early in the year. There were a lot of blowout games for the Indiana Fever. So that number is going to be negative for Caitlin as a result. Doesn't take anything away from Angel, who I think I saw Rebecca Lobo post today just now is tracking with the best rebounding rate, maybe like ever or close to ever. Yeah, here it is. This is from Rebecca Lobo's account. She put this up. At the midway point of a rookie year, Angel Reese is flirting with the highest rebound per game season average the WNBA has ever seen. As you can see, she's just behind Jonquel and Sylvia there. So Angel Reese is having a legitimately historic season. And some advanced stats are going to favor Reese because she doesn't have the ball that much. So she's doing a lot with a little, if that makes sense, where she is out there and on the floor, she is converting at a good rate without having to do a lot volume-wise. Meanwhile, on the other side, Caitlin Clark is doing a lot with volume, which can hurt your efficiency stats at times because Caitlin has the ball so much. She's shooting a bunch. She's doing a lot, which is also resulting in her generating the most points. In combined points and assists, I did the video on that, you can see that nobody in the league has generated more points for their team than Caitlin Clark, which ultimately is the kind of thing that I think wins the day for her in any argument. But at the same time, I'm not going to crush what Carolyn Peck had to say on the broadcast because she at least supported her argument, right? It wasn't like she said Angel Reese is the rookie of the year and there's no reason for it. She said she used the term grown woman numbers. And of course, that blew up as a result because she said that. This is a player who was coming and putting up grown woman numbers. But she also supported her argument with the advanced stats. She made a case for, Reese doing the dirty work and the things that don't necessarily generally get praised. And I don't want to hear Reese's rebound crapped on because that's like a special thing. She's special at that. And she really helps her team. Angel Reese is a extremely valuable player. She's scoring at a better rate now, a more efficient rate. I got nothing bad to say about what she's been able to do out on the floor. In fact, I think both of these women, as I've said many times, should be on the Olympic team. They both should be on the Olympic team. To me, the argument swings if I'm picking between rookie of the year. I say it's Caitlin Clark because I think Caitlin Clark is doing MVP level stuff or moving in that direction at least. And if you remember, Monica McNutt had also made the case on an ESPN broadcast or a telecast that when it comes to the standings, that was how she was going to decide who was the rookie of the year. At that time, the Sky were ahead of the Fever. If you look at the standings now, the Fever are ahead of the Sky, 9-13, 8-12. It's still very, very close there. But it does feel like the Indiana Fever are moving in the other direction. And they just beat the New York Liberty. Caitlin Clark was responsible for 55% of their points in that game on either points or assists. Clark's overall individual numbers are now starting to get to an eye-popping level when you count points, rebounds, and assists. Her entire stat line. It's not a normal production, especially for a rookie guard in the WNBA. But again, what Angel Reese is doing is not normal either. So when people like to say, Reese is getting her own rebounds off of her own misses or whatever they try to do to discredit Angel Reese, I'm not having that either. I can say I think Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year, but all praise is due to what Angel Reese has been able to do. I mean, look, if what she was doing wasn't special, it wouldn't be record-breaking, right? Just like when Caitlin Clark had the first ever rookie triple-double, that was noteworthy because there have been a lot of WNBA rookies, and none of them had ever had a triple-double. Same thing goes for with Angel, double-double, 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 double-double. Candace Parker, legend of the game, the only one to have had as many consecutive double-doubles until Reese passed her in that regard. So, you're not going to find me being biased or sitting here trying to discredit what Angel Reese has done. In fact, I hope I'm doing the opposite and giving the proper credit and recognition for what Angel Reese has done. It's just when you're a high volume, high usage player who is the catalyst for your entire team's offense, as Caitlin Clark is, and on the receiving end of the bulk of the defensive attention, number one on the scouting report, as Caitlin Clark is, and you're still producing as much as Caitlin Clark is, generating more total points than anyone in the league, I can't help but pick you as rookie of the year. And that's acknowledging that Angel's been special.